I want to take calls on the referee situation. Remember, Fester, we talked about this. Well, this has come up multiple times over the years on the show. A couple of days ago, there's a story out, and I saw this, and we mentioned it briefly toward the end of the show yesterday. I said, you know what, let's bring this up earlier in the show and take some phone calls tomorrow. There is not only a nationwide shortage of referees for like kids sports, but the shortage has absolutely hit the Tampa Bay area. And you know what it is? The main reason why there's a shortage is the referees are sick and tired of being verbally abused, in some cases physically abused. I mean, it has gotten rough out there for kids' sports where some of the parents are just absolute friggin' maniacs.
It's not the dream job it used to be.
Yeah, the parents are the worst part of the whole deal.
Tons of parents, and I recognize this, and I'd love to go to phones. Not the contest yet. We'll do the inflation smasher right after we take a few calls here. But I would like to take calls from parents. What's like the worst behavior that you've witnessed? I mean, I know that we've taken calls in the past where a parent has like assaulted the ump behind home plate because they like called their kid out on strikes, and the parent jumps out of the stands and beats the crap out of the ump. I mean, that stuff happens. All right, let me grab a couple of calls on this. There is a referee and an umpire shortage nationwide, and it has struck the Tampa Bay area. And this has been a problem this is not like brand new. It's getting to like a real critical point here. So if you're a parent,
yes,
if you've ever witnessed another parent go just ballistic on the ref, whether it's softball, baseball, soccer, football, whatever, if you've noticed really obscene behavior toward the refs, I would love to hear your story here quickly. Also, are you a ref? Do you still referee or umpire? And have you had problems? Are you a former ref or umpire and you walked away because of the abuse? All right, hit the phones right now. 800-990-1047. We'll take a few calls on this, and then we'll just morph right into the solicitation for the contest. But don't call for the contest yet. The cash is on the way in just a minute. But I want to go to phones on this whole referee thing, and it is a major, major problem. You know, we spent a lot of time at games. You know, Chloe started playing soccer at the Y on Himes when she was like 3 years old, and Chloe stuck with it, played all kinds of club soccer. You know, ended up playing local club soccer. Then we were in New York for a little bit. She played for, a Long Island team. And then was recruited. She had a number of Division I, Division II. She had D1, D2, D3 all trying to recruit her. And Chloe ended up playing Division I women's soccer at University of New Hampshire. But we saw a bunch of, just horrific events over the years. I mean, we've seen parents, run onto the field and like get in the ref's face. I mean, I've seen some crazy crap.
And you never did that.
No, I would never. No. I absolutely never ever did that.
Okay.
I would watch, and locally, there was one parent that used to F-bomb the refs all the time during the soccer games. Let's go to calls here. Phones are loaded. Sam, first up in Oldsmar. Sam, hi, you're on the MJ Morning Show.
Hi, good morning. I was just calling about the umpires in Little League.
Yeah.
I've coached my son's team since T-ball, which has been 8-9 years in the running now. And the umpires were good in the beginning, and then, as you said, parents are running them out with fighting with them and arguing with them, and we've lost a lot of good ones locally, and now they're just putting anybody in padded gear to stand behind the plate. There's no experience with them, and the parents just go absolutely nuts, and you can't get anybody anymore.
Right, so it's feeding the problem even more. So the parents were out of control with the qualified umps, and now they're putting like unqualified umps in, and the parents are getting even more jacked?
they're eating them alive because they can't get anybody behind the plate or on the field, and they're all inexperienced. So the parents are just taking advantage of their incompetency.
Oh, wow. So, Sam, what is the worst interaction? What is the worst you've ever seen with a parent and an ump?
I would say probably an umpire we had where he was the father of one of the players, and it was completely subjective on his side.
Oh, wow.
And everything went their way, and we knew why, but he swore he was doing the best job.
Yeah, but was there a confrontation? I'm looking for fighting, yelling.
Yeah, there was a confrontation with our team, and he actually called the game and said that our coaches were out of control, and he literally called the game and sent everybody to the parking lot.
Oh, wow. All right, Sam, thanks for the call. See, this is what every line is jammed. Every line. Thank you, Sam. Brian, Tampa. Brian, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hey, I used to umpire up in Massachusetts. It's actually my first job when I was like between 13 and 16 until I could get a real job. And the parents were just absolutely terrible. I recall one time it was 9-year-old playoff, and I wasn't even supposed to umpire. I got called like 15 minutes before. Somebody canceled, so they sent me and my brother over there to umpire super last minute. And it was a brutal game. Like, nobody could throw strikes, 9-year-olds. So the game just took forever.
What is the worst thing that you encountered? What's the worst thing that hit you during that game?
Oh, after the game, one of the parents said, "Oh, well, during the game, they said I'll meet you out in the parking lot after I think I rung up his son on a strike 3 call."
Oh, man. Was it a swing? Was it a swing, or was it just a called strike?
Called strike.
Okay, gotcha.
And I'll be honest, I had a big strike zone because game needed to get moving. Kids weren't.
So he's threatening to beat the crap out of you in the parking lot after the game?
Yes.
Did he confront you after the game?
Yes, there was a confrontation. There were no punches thrown, but what really got to me is at the end they were like, "Well, you guys didn't even want to be here," and it was like, "Listen, like, you have no idea. Like, we weren't even supposed to freaking be here. You just."
Wow. Brian, thanks for the call, man. I appreciate you checking in on this. Have a great one.
Yeah.
All right, let me grab Carrie in Tampa. Carrie, you're on the MJ Morning Show. If you're just tuning in, we'll do the money in just a minute, the inflation smasher, right after I take these calls. We're talking about the referee shortage, ref and ump shortage nationwide, and it is bad also here in the Tampa Bay area. We are seeing a shortage of umps and refs, and really the primary driver is they're tired of abusive parents. Go ahead, Carrie.
Hi, MJ. So this is a little concerning for me because my son is in a soccer league, and they haven't started up yet. They're going to be starting next week. But they had sent an email to all the parents asking for referees, and apparently in order to be a referee, you needed to be ages 10 and older.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah, so I guess they've gotten that desperate to have 10-year-olds. So that's a little concerning now that I know that how aggressive parents are being.
Oh, yeah.
I think nothing of punching a 10-year-old if he calls the wrong strike.
I'll kick your 10-year-old ass.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Carrie. Have a good one. Steve is in Largo. Steve. Hey, Andrew, let me just clear out these lines so I can do the cash contest. Phones have exploded. Steve, Largo, you're on MJ Morning Show. Hello.
Hey, MJ, yeah, I've done refereeing before, and I did in early 90s, and then I went back to it in the early 2000s. I just, in Largo at a football game, at a youth football game, one of the coaches actually jumped one of the refs after the game from the Largo for Youth Little League football team, and after that, we refused to, even the association refused to ref those games for that association unless they fired the coach.
Wow. Hey, Steve, my wife just sent me a text. Michelle said, hey, don't forget some of Chloe's games were out of control, including, and I know that because I talked about some of Chloe's games, which just got really rough, with parents screaming at the refs. But Michelle just sent me a text. Remember, at one of Chloe's games, they had to have police there. They were hired for the event because of problems. They had law enforcement was hired for off-duty security to keep the peace at one of Chloe's soccer games some time ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's insane.
Crazy, dude.
Thank you, buddy. Have a great day, Steve. Tammy in Wesley Chapel. Tammy, MJ Morning Show.
Hey.
Hey, Tammy, go ahead.
So I have 3 children, and we're big soccer fans, and all 3 of my kids ref. And my oldest is almost 30, and he's ref since he's been 14, and he is the best ref ever. So he will not, like, if they confront him, he won't talk to him. But there has been, he's told me so many stories, like even the coaches, they get up in his face and he just looks at him and he says, you need to step away now.
Step
and he's
back.
just so calm.
Yep.
But it's just terrible. And the parents and my husband coached, and I'm talking like we go to games, and my oldest also played competitive like your daughter. He probably coached one of your daughter's games, but because he does it all over. He's a competitive soccer ref. And even my husband, like one time he was coaching for just little girls, like 10, and one of the parents was like yelling and swearing and saying the F-bomb, and he literally went up to her and he said, look, if you don't stop swearing, I'm not going to, you're not going to be here. I'm going to,
Wow. Has your son ever thought about quitting because it's so bad?
Well, now, I will tell you, my oldest has not, because it's really good money, but it costs a lot. And that's what sucks too. It costs them a lot to be refs. They have to pay background checks. They have to take classes. They have to revert.
They're going out of their way. They don't deserve to be abused. The way they're going out of their way to do this. Thank you, Tammy. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I just got another text from Chloe, my daughter Chloe, who is the former Division I soccer player, and Chloe wants me to shout out her Uber driver right now. So, Karen has my precious cargo on board. Karen is Chloe's Uber driver right now to the state attorney's office in downtown Tampa. And Carrie Karen is a super listener here on the MJ Morning Show. So,
oh, wow.
Hello, Karen, the Uber driver. Thanks for listening to the MJ Morning Show. All right, Andrew, no more calls on this. I'll take Slevin, Kevin, and James. I got Kevin James and Slevin Kevin. All right, hang on a minute. Is it Slevin? Am I saying that correctly?
Yes, you are. MJ, how are you this morning?
We're doing well. All right, so what's your deal with referees and umps? What have you witnessed?
All right, MJ. So I've been refereeing flag football for probably about 8 years now in the greater Tampa Bay area.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the next 4 years, we're going to have flag football in the Olympics. So it's a big deal for a lot of these parents and a lot of these children, especially in the 9 to 12-year-old age bracket, to be able to get prepared enough for possibly competing in the Olympics. Now, the problem with that is parents tend to live a little too vicariously through their children.
Yep.
In many situations, parents erupt, especially coaches. And that problem becomes almost habitual in the fact of it never being rectified in several leagues where we have asked people to leave.
Hey, Slevin, your phone is getting really, really bad up in Spring Hill. It's dropping in and out and
get closer to the sinkhole.
Yeah, but there was a parent that was told not to come to the games anymore. I remember at one of Chloe's soccer games. This is locally. One of the parents was told, "Don't come to the games anymore because you're abusive to the coaches." Slevin, thank you, buddy. I appreciate the call. His phone's having trouble.
We'll figure it out.
All right, let me grab the last two. Fester, bring my
Kevin and James.
Yeah, Kevin. Hey, Kevin, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, good morning, buddy.
Hey,
before I moved down here and started driving truck, I coached youth sports and middle school and high school sports for 30 years in Ohio. And I actually quit right before I moved down because of the parents. And we've had instances like I had to ban one of my own friends. I had to kick one of my own friends out of a high school game for cussing at the coaches.
Wow.
I had to ban a mother for the year from a middle school facility because she used the F-bomb as an adjective, adverb, noun, pronoun, and every other way she could figure out how to use it.
Right, isn't it? It's all of the above,
It's
right?
an amazing word.
Yeah.
really.
I had a mom. I had a kid get hurt in practice. He unfortunately broke his arm. She showed up drunk, so I had to call the police department and get her. And I had to ride to the hospital with the kid until his dad could meet me there. And then when I was coaching baseball, the president of our baseball league got thrown out by a 14-year-old umpire because he was up there kicking dirt on the 14-year-old. He was the president of our baseball league.
My God.
That's only 4 of like 5,000 stories. It's just it's crazy. I mean,
Kevin, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Let me squeeze in James, and Andrew says I got to take Will as the final call. All right, James and Valrico. James, go. You're on the MJ Morning Show.
Good morning. From a former board member of a youth soccer club here locally in Tampa, I attended AGM meetings in the state of Florida for the whole state several years ago, and the topic of one of the main meetings was the parents and their conduct during the games. What caught me off guard and really told me we had a real problem in youth sports was when the state regulating board opened the discussion for how we treat parents during a soccer game, a competitive soccer game, when they act out. The coaches stood up to defend their players because the idea was to remove the player from the game if the parent acted up. And the coaches stood up and said, well, how are we supposed to tell our best player they can't play because of the way their parent acted? My opinion, that's the biggest problem we have right there. Why should we explain to a kid why they can't play instead of their parent who acted up?
Yeah, the kid shouldn't be banned. The parent should be banned. I absolutely agree.
Well,
James, go ahead.
Yes, but that was the problem. Parents get banned, the kids still play. They were trying to stricken the rule because the parents were still continuing.
Yep.
And the only way to get to the parent was to affect their kid and remove them from the game when the parent got removed.
So what happened?
And this was a huge discussion.
So what eventually happened?
At that meeting, it was inconclusive at that time.
Okay, gotcha.
That year. They did not enforce that, but it's gotten that bad.
Yeah, absolutely. James, thanks for the call. All right, last call, and then we give away the money. The MJ Morning Show Inflation Smasher is moments away. Will in Tampa, final call on the referee and the umpire situation locally and nationally, out of control. There's a total shortage because so many umps and refs don't want to do it anymore because of the abuse that they're getting. Will, go ahead. You're up.
Hey, good morning, MJ. Listen, so I'm a retired deputy from Tampa, and years ago I had to respond to a fight or a threat, rather, at a town and country little league game.
Right.
We get there. Apparently, the parent of one of the kids, that was like a 10 or 11-year-old, got kicked out of the field and wanted to threaten the umpire. So as we get there, this parent is cussing out the umpire. We get there, and he's walking towards his truck. I asked him to stop. He said he's going to go ahead and shoot everybody from or not shoot everybody, but the umpire from the field because his kid got thrown out of the game.
Oh, my God.
We literally had to hog tie this parent and fight him, and before he got in the truck. Once we got in the truck, because of his threat, we actually found a loaded .45 inside of his glove box, which he was going for.
Man, so he got a trip down to Falkenberg, huh? Or down to Orient Road, right?
Absolutely, and he ended up being a county employee.
Oh, great. How long you been retired?
About 10 years.
Well, thanks for your service, I would imagine, to the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office.
You got it.
All right, buddy. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. All right, Will in Tampa. All right, there we go. I mean, the phones, we turned calls away. The phones exploded on this.
Andrew had to curse at those callers like they were parents at a soccer game.
Yeah.
Leave the refs and the umps alone. You're driving them out of the business. There's a shortage of refs and umps. Hope you liked the video. If you did, then hit the like, share, subscribe, all this crap down here.